Avoid this mistake at all costs on your inaugural cruise. This error has the potential to destroy your whole getaway before you even begin. First-time cruise passengers have made such expensive blunders that they end up spending their vacation angry, financially drained, or completely worn out. Don't become one of these statistics. Are you prepared to prevent catastrophe and sail with expertise? Here's what you need to know. Taking a cruise represents a fantastic travel option. You only unpack your belongings once, your accommodation travels alongside you, and each dawn brings you to a fresh location. However, without proper preparation, numerous traps await you at every turn. Unexpected charges, poor room selections, and overlooked shore activities can drain all the happiness from what ought to be an unforgettable journey. So let's begin exploring these 11 critical mistakes. Mistake 1. Wrong cabin location. The first error sits right before your eyes. Envision this scenario. You've completed your cabin check-in, set down your luggage, and you're excited to finally be sailing. However, on your initial evening, rather than restful slumber, you remain awake until 2 a.m. due to your room being positioned directly over the dance club. Alternatively, your location might be adjacent to the anchor, causing you to be startled awake each sunrise by the thunderous sound of chains clanking through metal. This represents the beginner's error that has the power to destroy each evening of your getaway. What makes this significant? Your sleeping location determines your entire cruise experience. Sound, movement, and endless pedestrian traffic accumulate over time. Rather than awakening refreshed and eager to discover new places, you'll stumble through every day exhausted, irritable, and questioning why you invested so much money to feel terrible. Older travelers might experience additional stress. Parents with children quickly lose their temper. Before long, the whole voyage seems less like a vacation and more like an endurance test. What's the solution? Research your accommodation thoroughly before making your reservation. Access the ship's layout diagrams online and examine carefully what's positioned above, beneath, and surrounding your quarters. The middle section of a lower level typically offers the most stable ride with minimal disturbance. Stay away from reservations directly beneath the swimming area, food court, or entertainment venue. When you desire tranquility, here's the benefit. The correct room selection turns your cruise into a luxurious floating resort. Your sleep quality improves, your days become more enjoyable, and you'll feel you received full value for your investment. However, even the ideal cabin cannot shield you from the sea itself. Mistake 2. Not preparing for seasickness. The second error literally causes some travelers to become ill. This occurs frequently. A new cruiser boards the vessel filled with anticipation, takes food from the buffet, and before the ship departs, they feel nauseous. By their first evening at sea, they're lying in bed sick, missing the welcome celebration, dinner, and all their anticipated activities. Motion sickness doesn't merely spoil one day, it can destroy your complete vacation. What makes this important? Seasickness affects even the most experienced travelers. The soft swaying of the vessel might not disturb veteran cruisers, but newcomers may feel like the ground constantly shifts under their feet. Once queasiness begins, it's difficult to overcome. You might miss ports, waste money on activities you cannot participate in, or simply stay bedridden while others create memories. For elderly passengers and children, the challenge becomes even greater, transforming what should be a delightful experience into a terrible wait until you return to solid ground. What's the remedy? Prepare for motion sickness before boarding. Bring anti-nausea wristbands, Dramamine, or doctor-prescribed patches. Select a central, lower-level room where motion feels less pronounced. Consume light portions on your first day and limit alcohol consumption until you understand your body's response. Here's an expert suggestion. Ship medical facilities typically stock treatments, but they'll charge you more than bringing supplies from home. Here's the upside. With proper preparation, seasickness doesn't need to spoil anything. Many travelers never experience it, and those who come prepared frequently recover quickly. Even better, once your system adapts, you'll hardly notice the movement, leaving you free to enjoy your trip completely. Once you've found your sea legs, don't allow the next error to burden you, quite literally. Mistake 3. Overpacking your luggage. You've witnessed them, newcomers struggling through the terminal carrying 3 enormous suitcases, hand luggage, and an overstuffed tote bag. After finally cramming everything into their room, they discover the issue. Cruise cabins aren't built to accommodate luggage mountains. Suddenly, The area resembles a storage facility rather than a vacation sanctuary. Why does this matter? Clutter generates stress. With restricted space, each additional bag you pack reduces your comfort. Instead of a peaceful, tidy environment, you're stumbling over footwear, stuffing garments beneath the mattress, and losing valuable morning minutes searching for necessities. For families, excessive packing multiplies the disorder, while seniors may find the constant bending and hunting tiring. Overpacking also results in increased luggage costs, extended check-in periods, and additional concerns during departure. The solution: pack intelligently, not heavily. Select clothing items that coordinate well together. Focus on adaptable layers and remember that cruise ships frequently provide laundry services or self-service options. Pack several accessories to vary your appearance instead of bringing complete additional ensembles. Footwear consumes the most space, so restrict yourself to a few versatile pairs. A foldable laundry container keeps soiled clothing organized without requiring extra room. Here's the benefit: light packing provides liberty. You navigate the terminal effortlessly, your cabin remains peaceful and orderly, and you spend less time managing luggage while enjoying more vacation time. Additionally, having remaining suitcase space allows you to purchase souvenirs without worry. Even with perfect packing, another trap awaits because your day-one spending decisions can determine your cruise budget success or failure. Mistake 4. Day 1 overspending. The instant the vessel departs, excitement reaches its peak. New cruisers frequently rush directly to the stores, schedule spa appointments, or purchase expensive beverage packages without consideration. By day 1's end, their ship account appears as though they've been sailing for a week. It seems enjoyable initially, but regret arrives quickly. Why does this matter? Cruise companies excel at early temptation. Stores conduct welcome sales, spas promote opening day specials, and bars distribute attractive drink menus. Inexperienced cruisers, swept up in excitement, overspend before exploring all the complimentary activities their fare includes. By mid-cruise, their budget is exhausted and every purchase becomes stressful. Families face particular hardship, realizing too late they've committed to costly extras they rarely utilize. The solution: take your time. Use the first day to explore the ship and sample the free offerings: pools, entertainment, live performances, casual dining, and activities. Before purchasing extras, allow yourself 24 hours to determine what you'll actually use. Often, better discounts appear later during the cruise. Here's a professional tip: establish a daily spending limit to avoid shocking final bills. Here's the positive aspect: by controlling your spending pace, you'll appreciate the extras you choose more. That spa treatment feels luxurious rather than guilt-inducing, and the poolside cocktail tastes superior when it fits your budget. Cruising involves balance, indulging wisely, not recklessly. However, spending mistakes don't conclude on day 1. Mistake 5. Hidden fees shock. The true budget destroyer appears at the very end when surprise charges catch you unprepared. Picture this: on your cruise's final evening, you're packing while still glowing from sunsets and island experiences. Then you review your account statement and nearly collapse. Hundreds of dollars in unplanned charges appear: gratuities, internet access, soft drinks, bottled water, even that supposedly free yoga session. Suddenly, the perfect vacation feels like a financial attack. Why does this matter? The advertised cruise price never represents the final cost. Newcomers often believe they've secured an all-inclusive package, only to be surprised by daily gratuities, port charges, service fees, and extras that accumulate quietly in the background. Beverages, specialty restaurants, excursions, and the internet represent the largest culprits. Families can easily add $500 to $1,000 in unexpected expenses without realizing until the final day. This financial stress can eliminate all the relaxation you achieved during your vacation. The solution: research thoroughly before sailing. Investigate what your cruise fare includes and excludes. Most cruise companies publish gratuity rates and drink package prices upfront. Include these in your budget before booking. Determine what you truly value. Perhaps you'll skip internet access but invest in one excellent shore excursion and reserve funds for tips, souvenirs, and small luxuries. Here's the positive: when you plan for extras in advance, they transform from hidden fees into enjoyable upgrades. Instead of fearing your final bill, you'll sail through departure knowing everything was anticipated, and this confidence makes the entire trip smoother and more pleasant. Sometimes the error isn't excessive spending but missing valuable experiences entirely, which is where shore excursions can determine your cruise's success or failure. Mistake 6. Poor shore excursion planning. You've arrived at a tropical paradise. Fellow passengers are snorkeling in pristine waters, trekking through rainforests, or discovering historical ruins. Meanwhile, an unprepared first-timer finds themselves wandering port shops or, worse, remaining on the ship because exciting activities sold out completely. By the time they realize their mistake, the opportunity for a once-in-a-lifetime memory has vanished. Why does this matter? Shore excursions often represent a cruise's highlight, the moments you'll discuss for years: swimming alongside dolphins, kayaking through caves, tasting genuine local cuisine. However, excursions fill up rapidly, and newcomers who wait until the last moment often get stuck with overpriced remaining options or miss out entirely. Conversely, some beginners book every offered excursion, emptying their wallets and exhausting themselves before reaching the cruise's halfway point. The solution: find balance. Research your destinations before sailing and identify activities that truly excite you. Reserve must-do experiences early through the cruise line or a reliable local provider. If you're adventurous, include some independent port exploration days. Sometimes discovering the town or beach independently can prove equally rewarding and more affordable. Don't forget to schedule rest days when you simply enjoy the ship while most passengers are ashore. Here's the positive: the right excursions transform your cruise from a trip into an adventure. They connect you to destinations, provide stories to share, and ensure you feel you've genuinely experienced the places you visited. However, even the most incredible excursion won't help if you ignore the next mistake, because regarding safety at sea, your ignorance could create risk. Mistake 7. Ignoring safety protocols. This occurs every cruise. The muster drill starts, alarms sound, and while most passengers gather at their stations, some roll their eyes, chat through instructions, or skip entirely. Later, when a real alarm sounds, those individuals freeze, uncertain where to go or what to do. This ignorance could become dangerous during a genuine emergency. Why does this matter? Ocean safety isn't optional. Muster drills exist for good reason: to show you where to go, how to wear a life jacket, and which procedures activate if something goes wrong. For newcomers, navigating a massive cruise ship's layout can feel like solving a maze. During stressful situations, confusion wastes precious time. Although emergencies are uncommon, ignoring protocols means endangering yourself and others. Families can become separated, seniors may panic, and language barriers worsen chaos when you've never paid attention initially. The solution: take the muster drill seriously. Pay attention, ask questions if uncertain, and locate your assembly station quickly. Walk the route once to familiarize yourself. Beyond the drill, review the safety information in your cabin. It exists to build confidence, not fear. Remember, staff members are trained professionals, but their job becomes easier when passengers understand the basics. Here's the positive: once you understand safety systems, your confidence increases. Instead of worrying about what-if scenarios, you have peace of mind that makes the remaining cruise more enjoyable. However, safety isn't the only thing newcomers overlook. Even with emergency preparedness, you might miss one of cruising's best aspects: food. That's where the next mistake appears. Mistake 8. Limited dining choices. Here's a typical rookie error: a first-time cruiser spends their entire trip at the buffet. It feels secure, remains always open, and requires no reservation. However, by week's end, they've missed lobster dinners, gourmet desserts, and elegant dining rooms already included in their payment. Worse, they've waited in long lines for food that wasn't half as special as the ship's true offerings. Why does this matter? Dining represents a significant cruise experience component. Cruise lines invest millions in culinary options, from main dining rooms with rotating menus to specialty restaurants offering steak, sushi, or Italian feasts. Limiting yourself to only the buffet means abandoning value and experiences. For some passengers, this even creates frustration as overcrowded buffets feel more like school cafeterias than luxury vacations. The solution: diversify your dining. Experience the main dining room for dinner at least several evenings. It's typically included in your fare and provides a more relaxed atmosphere. Reserve 1 or 2 specialty restaurants if you want to invest in something memorable. Yes, enjoy the buffet too. It's excellent for casual meals, but don't make it your sole option. Professional tip: check your cruise app or daily schedule for themed evenings and hidden treasures like made-to-order breakfast stations or late-night snacks. Here's the positive: when you explore dining variety, meals become trip highlights. One evening you're eating filet mignon, the next you're enjoying poolside street tacos, and the following you're sipping cappuccino in a cozy cafe. Food becomes adventure, not just fuel. However, dining isn't the only area where newcomers get trapped, because the next mistake affects both your wallet and patience simultaneously: onboard internet. Mistake 9. Wi-Fi expectations. This occurs nearly every sailing. A first-time cruiser purchases the unlimited internet package expecting to stream movies, video call family, or work remotely. By day 1, reality strikes. The connection crawls, streaming buffers endlessly, and emails require minutes to load. Suddenly, frustration replaces relaxation, and the expensive package feels worthless. Why does this matter? Cruise ship internet isn't like land-based connections. Satellites provide the service, and while improving, it remains limited, unreliable, and expensive. Newcomers expecting seamless digital experiences end up glued to phones, annoyed by slow speeds, and distracted from the vacation they came to enjoy. For families, costs escalate rapidly if everyone purchases individual plans. For seniors, technology confusion adds another stress layer. The solution: manage expectations. If you truly need the internet, purchase the smallest package fitting your needs, like messaging or light browsing, and save heavy usage for port days when you can find faster, cheaper hotspots on shore. Consider using the cruise line's app for schedules and onboard communication. It often functions without paid internet. Here's a professional tip: ships sometimes offer discounted packages mid-cruise, so don't rush on day 1. Here's the positive: disconnecting can become one of cruising's greatest gifts. Instead of checking email hourly, you'll watch sunsets, converse with loved ones, and enjoy genuine rest. Many cruisers discover that unplugging makes the trip truly memorable. However, if internet frustrations can drain patience, the next mistake can exhaust your energy, because failing to pace yourself on board can leave you tired long before the ship returns to port. Mistake 10. Overscheduling activities. A cruise ship's daily schedule resembles a temptation buffet: trivia, dance lessons, cooking demonstrations, art auctions, karaoke, deck parties. Something occurs every hour. First-time cruisers often attempt everything. By day 3, they're dragging themselves from bed, skipping meals, and feeling more drained than at home. Instead of returning refreshed, they stumble off the ship completely exhausted. Why does this matter? A cruise should provide balance. Overloading your days means never slowing down to actually enjoy moments. Families end up arguing as children have meltdowns from excessive stimulation. Seniors who push themselves risk burnout or injury. Worst of all, you miss cruising's simple pleasures: lounging on deck, watching waves, and letting time decelerate. The solution: prioritize. Select 2 or 3 must-do activities daily and release the rest. Leave empty space in your schedule for spontaneous fun or quiet relaxation. Want to catch an evening show? Excellent. But perhaps skip morning Zumba if you stayed out late dancing at the deck party. Remember, you don't need to cram everything into one cruise. There's always another opportunity. Here's the positive: when you pace yourself, your cruise feels richer. You're not rushing between activities, you're savoring them. That lazy afternoon nap, that deck sunset, that unplanned conversation with fellow passengers, these often become your most memorable moments. However, pacing yourself on board represents only half the challenge. The real disappointment comes when newcomers make the final and most significant mistake: forgetting to plan for departure day. Mistake 11. Poor disembarkation planning. Disembarkation day surprises every cruiser. One evening you're enjoying a Broadway-style performance. The next morning you're standing in a chaotic line with thousands of other passengers, managing luggage, passports, and a ticking flight schedule. For unprepared first-time cruisers, it often becomes the trip's most stressful part, sometimes resulting in missed flights, lost bags, or a bitter final memory of an otherwise wonderful vacation. Why does this matter? Disembarkation differs from hotel checkout. Cruise lines manage thousands of simultaneous departures, and timing is crucial. Newcomers who book early flights risk panic when customs lines move slowly. Others forget to settle their on-board accounts the previous evening, delaying departure. Families who separate during the process often reunite outside the port feeling frazzled and frustrated, instead of celebrating a well-spent trip. The solution: prepare early. Pack your bags the previous evening and follow instructions for luggage tags and assigned departure groups. If you need to catch an early flight, request priority disembarkation. Otherwise, enjoy a leisurely breakfast and wait for your group's call. Book afternoon flights, not morning ones, to accommodate customs delays. Don't forget to keep essentials like passports, medications, and valuables in your carry-on, not checked luggage. Here's the positive: when you plan disembarkation well, you conclude the trip as smoothly as it started. Instead of a chaotic scramble, you exit the ship confidently, ready to head home with only positive memories. Once you master this final mistake, you'll be cruising like an experienced professional. Thanks for watching. If you reach this point, type "smooth sailing" in the comments so I know you're a genuine cruise expert. Happy cruising and safe travels.